Welcome to the Wisdom Within podcast, where we dive deep into the unseen layers of life, uncovering meaning, purpose, and the subtle yet powerful forces shaping our human experience. I'm Lara, Jaye, and this is an overview from chapter 15 entitled Unwritten from my best-selling book, The Wisdom Within, Cracking the Secrets of Meaning, Purpose, and Security. Our time together here in season 1 has gone by so quickly, with this episode being our last one that we're wrapping up season 1. And today I want to share a deeply personal journey, one that starts in the shadows of loneliness and frustration, but emerges into light, wonder, and the realization that we always have the power to shape our reality. When I was writing this particular chapter, the last one in The Wisdom Within, I had just moved to North San Diego. And if you recall from an earlier podcast episode, it was the pinnacle location of where I always wanted to live. I had such high expectations, and yet I found myself teetering on the edge of a familiar place, this heavy, isolating grip of depression. Loneliness, health struggles began to weigh on me as I transitioned to yet another city. I was exhausted. The dream of establishing roots here, finding community, and building a supportive healthcare network, it felt more elusive than I had ever imagined. And if you've ever found yourself in a dark place, you know how challenging it can be to reach out. It reminds me of a drowning person struggling to call for help. No one on the sidelines of the water can hear them. They're underwater. Well, depression can feel a little like that. This invisible weight silencing the very voice that wants to be heard. I've faced depression in many forms over the years, and eventually I've learned to recognize the signs before they fully take hold. For me, it often starts with an undercurrent of frustration. And when anger turned inward and it becomes unexpressed and unacknowledged, it festers into this deep sadness. The constant pressure of building a sustainable business while navigating unseen energetic forces can drain even the most resilient spirit. And when you face it all alone for years, as I have, resentment can quietly creep in. But here's the thing. I know that I am the steward of my energy. I am a magnet for what I allow into my life. And while life can feel heavy, I also know that I hold the power to shift it. This particular year that I was finishing up the book, despite the undercurrent of loneliness, I decided to celebrate my birthday with intention. I planned a retreat at a beautiful Ritz-Carlton by the ocean. It was a gift to myself. And even when my friend had to cancel at the last minute, I chose to go anyway and go alone. When I arrived, however, I encountered an unexpected moment of invisibility. I sat at the valet station waiting, watching cars come and go. For 15 minutes, no one noticed me. I felt very unseen and as though I didn't even belong there. And disappointed, I quietly just drove away. I called the Ritz on my way home, canceled the reservation, of course, without penalty. And as I was navigating traffic, driving home, I just kept asking myself, what energy was I projecting that made me so invisible? It struck me. How often are we unconsciously sending out signals of unworthiness, of being too much or not enough? And how often does the world mirror those hidden beliefs right back to us? I realized that as a solo woman arriving alone at a fancy hotel, perhaps I didn't fit the usual narrative of who checks into a luxury place. But why should I let that story define my experience? When I arrived home, a wave of sadness threatened to wash over me. It would have been so easy to spiral, to retreat into isolation, to numb myself with Netflix, Or was I going to let go of the story of being overlooked shape the rest of my birthday weekend? Something in me shifted really quickly. I remembered that I hold the pen to my own story. I asked myself, what would bring me joy right now? The answer came quickly. The ocean, whales, freedom. So on a whim, I booked a whale watching tour for the very next day. It was a simple but profound decision. Rather than letting the heaviness dictate my experience, I chose to create a new memory, one rooted in joy and wonder. And it was on that boat, gliding across the ocean, that something magical happened. I saw them. 4 magnificent blue whales, the largest beings on earth. Their sheer presence, their grace, their vastness was awe-inspiring. And as I stood there, heart wide open, I felt my frequency rise so quickly. The sadness lifted, the frustration dissolved. I had reclaimed my power by choosing how I wanted to experience my life. This moment became a turning point. It reminded me that while external circumstances may challenge us, our internal landscape is ours to shape. It also deepened my commitment to my own 3 essential practices. Number 1, self-compassion. When life feels heavy, we must extend the same kindness to ourselves that we offer others. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. Number 2, self-awareness. Noticing the stories we tell ourselves is powerful. What beliefs are you holding that shape your reality? Are they true? Or are they outdated echoes of a past you're ready to release? And number 3, energetic responsibility. We are the co-creators of our experience. What we put out, we receive back. By consciously choosing our thoughts, our actions, our focus, we shift what life reflects back to us. Now, let me be clear. There is a difference between clinical depression, which requires professional support, and the emotional waves we all face. What I'm describing today isn't about denying or suppressing hard feelings. It's about recognizing that we have the power to pivot. And you do have that power yourself. When life feels heavy, ask yourself, what energy am I holding right now? Is this the story I want to keep telling myself? And what small action, what next step could shift my experience today, right now? For me, that action was whale watching. For you, it might be a walk in nature, reaching out to a friend, or simply pausing to breathe deeply and reset your energy. You know, the secret to living a life that just flows, one that feels balanced and deeply harmonious, it really starts with embracing yourself fully and being willing to look within. And I'm not talking about surface level self-care. It's about facing those parts of yourself you have ignored, the ones that tried to get your attention. Maybe even through physical discomfort or that nagging feeling you couldn't quite shake. We all have those parts we avoid when we look in the mirror, right? But here's the thing. When you stop pushing them aside and actually start listening, something powerful happens. And that's what the wisdom within is all about. It invites you to go beyond the surface, to not just skim the waves, but deep dive into your inner world. And right now, with so much shifting around us, this kind of inner exploration isn't just helpful, it's actually essential. Yes, change can feel disorienting, but on the other side of it, life still flows. And not just any life, a richer, more aligned version of it. So as the old structures fall away, this is your invitation to release what no longer fits and ground yourself in who you're truly meant to be. And as we all navigate this ever-changing world, we are each being invited to deepen our spiritual practice, elevate our self-awareness, and squash the negative thoughts our minds are constantly producing. The old ways no longer work. We cannot outsource our sense of meaning or security to external conditions. The only true anchor is within us. Allow the quiet to calm your soul while you release that which you no longer need. And as you've likely come to discover through this podcast or my book, the way out of chaos is in, the way out of disconnection is in, the way out of numbing yourself is in, the way out of your trauma is by going within. And as you move through your day, I invite you to reflect. Where in your life are you feeling unseen or unheard? And how might you reclaim your power by choosing a new story? Because no matter how the day begins, you always have the power to shape how it ends. Thank you for joining me today on The Wisdom Within. Your time is important, and it has been an honor and privilege for me to hang out with you this season. May we all remember the profound beauty of this human journey, and may we choose moment by moment to align with joy, possibility, and the infinite grace that surrounds us. I will be taking a short break in between podcast seasons, but I will be back soon with all new episodes. And if there's something you'd like me to cover, email me at info@larajay.com. Let me know what's on your mind or what you gleaned from season 1. And until next time, stay curious, stay open, and trust the wisdom within you.